What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Tuesday, February 4th, 2025, and we are back with a midday stream here on the Tori and Remy Loaded channel. Make sure if you haven't done so already to hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel. And if you are new to the channel, I'm glad that you are all here. Hit the bell twice to be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live. I would greatly appreciate it. So you see the title, y'all already know what we about to discuss, and we got quite a bit of ground to cover in a kind of a short, small window, because that's why I'm going live at this time, because I won't be available to go live tonight at 6, but I still am kind of short on time, but we're going to get through it in a very concise manner. But before I get into all of that, let me go ahead and acknowledge the people who are here so far in the chat. We got Donna C, Dre Harden, Raging Woody, Issa Life. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Wallow J, August Dreams, Jerome Davis, Hurricane Nisi, SD Johnson, Kira Clark, Reparations Nation, Jackie Smith, RDRD, Rokumuro, D Foster, Stay Positive, Don P, Keandre Bell Washington, Silky Danielle, Seven, Kira, and Lady Messenger. I appreciate all of you being here, and I see and Michael McCullough just came into the chat as well, and Cosmo Fury. Before I actually get into all of this, I have to send my condolences to the loved ones, friends, and associates of one of our master teachers, Neely Fuller Jr. I actually found out I was actually taking my nap, and I woke up and I saw that KG had went live, and he was the first one I saw had spoke about it. And unfortunately, he passed away, I believe, on the 1st. So a lot of us are just finding out about it. We lost another one of our master teachers, but he lived a relatively long life, because I did not know that man was born in 1929. So yeah, we lost another one, but you know what? They may not be here physically, but their teachings are going to live on forever. And I need to get that book. I need to get that book. As a matter of fact, I need to get the primary book of all of our master teachers. I got the Black Bible, for Dr. Francis Cress Welsing with the ISIS papers. I'm always going to call that the Black Bible, but I need to get his literary works as well. But definitely shout out to that man and all of his teachings that he's done over the years for our people in particular. And, in teaching us, whether people receive the information or not, that's completely up to the individual and how they interpret it. But if you did receive the information well, you already know how this thing works. So definitely rest in peace, rest in power to that man. Now let's get to the task at hand. So, as you all know, the 2025 Grammys was this past Sunday. There was a lot of surprises for some people. Some of them we weren't shocked about, namely Kendrick Lamar and him winning for Not Like Us. But I think the shocking part is that he swept. He won 5 Grammys. He won every Grammy that was not every category that Not Like Us was in. It won. So it was a clean sweep, which is rare, especially for a rapper to sweep like that. So congratulations to that man. But another thing that was talked about heavily was Beyonce. So as you know, Beyonce had that album Cowboy Carter that came out last year, and she won 2 Grammys on Sunday. The first one that she won was Best Country Album. And when I saw her face, and some of y'all probably seen the video, and it has now become a meme, she was genuinely shocked by it. And I can understand why, because remember, she was pretty much shut out from like the CMAs or the CMTs or any of those country music award shows. So people thought that, we know the Grammys are going to nominate her, but she probably was going into there thinking, I'm not going to win. Taylor Swift is probably going to win. But she was genuinely shocked that she won for Best Country Album. Now, here's how, from my interpretation of it is, whatever category you're in, that is who the voting block is for that particular category. So that means she got the majority of the vote. So she got Best Country Album. But the big thing that happened for her, besides that, was for her to finally win Album of the Year. Now, that's a big award, because she's been nominated for Album of the Year for so long. She's been nominated like I don't know how many times for Album of the Year. And she won Album of the Year for a country album that she did. And that makes her the third artist ever to win Album of the Year who made a country album for a country album. And she's the first Black artist or the first Black female for in 51 years to win in that category for an album like that. So when I saw that, I said to myself in my head without even having to say out loud, I already know the usual suspects was going to be upset about that. Yeah, Kira Clark, over 13,000 votes. You got to think over 13,000 votes and your album won. That's crazy because it's not a small voting block. It's a very large one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share this quote. It actually is a quote from her during her speech, because I thought that this speech that she gave when she accepted for Best Country Album spoke volumes. It says in her acceptance speech, the singer said she was surprised about her win in the country genre. She quotes as saying, "I think sometimes genre is a code word to keep us in our place as artists. I just want people to do what they are passionate about." When she said that part right there, when I was looking, because I didn't watch the show, I just looked at the highlights. When she said that, that was her giving a subtle dig or a jab at the country music community for quote unquote saying the things that they were saying over the last year ever since she dropped that album, even before those CMTs and CMA nominations came out, and probably what other people were saying online, basically saying, Beyonce, your place is in R&B and maybe a little bit of pop, if you do that, but mainly R&B. A little bit of hip hop if you want to go in there, because sometimes she does be rapping in some of her songs. But country is not you, or they'll say that she's not country. So I see why she made that quote, and I knew when she said, the minute she said that, I knew they was going to be mad even more. Like, this woman literally was firing off on all cylinders to piss them off that night. So I just wanted to start it off with that before we got into the nitty gritty of everything. And by the way, in case y'all didn't know, Taylor Swift didn't win not one Grammy that night, which is rare because usually when she gets nominated for awards like Grammys and stuff, Taylor is usually going to win at least one of them. She didn't win any. But I was looking at the highlights. Taylor Swift was just happy to be here. Every time I saw Taylor Swift on camera, that woman was always clapping, jumping up and down, dancing rhythmlessly, smiling, giggling, and had a glass of champagne in her hand, just throwing toast all around. Dale said Beyonce did not deserve to win that, and I don't care what you say. That's one song from a genre Taylor should have won. Dale, I'm not sure if you understand the category that Beyonce won in, but it was for the album, not a song. So they were celebrating the album as a body of work. Well, I don't know what, because she didn't win for Best Country Song. She won for Best Country Album and Album of the Year. So that means as a collective, that means that's what they were looking at. All right, so now that we've gotten that out the way, let me start off going into some of these articles. Well, I think it's only one article that I'm gonna go over, and it's this one right here. And it says, Beyonce slammed by country legend over Grammy win amid, here it is, y'all, this is what they started to do, amid DEI push to make awards more diverse. I kept seeing that too. Some people were trying to say that she's a DEI hire. I'm like, what in the world? This is why the Saltine Queen said what she said about y'all. But I'm gonna talk about that at a later date. Dale, I can tell you didn't listen to the album, but I'm gonna leave that alone. Country music legend John Rich has slammed Beyonce for winning Best Country Album at Sunday's Grammy Awards amid backlash over the show's move to become more diverse and inclusive. In a fiery post on X, formerly Twitter, the singer-songwriter, age 51, exposed how voting for award shows like the Grammys really works, while also claiming that Beyonce doesn't sing country music, despite the Cowboy Carter hitmaker sweeping the country categories at this year's ceremony. It's funny they don't say this about other artists who do other categories of music that they're not known for, but fine, whatever. Folks are asking me, how do music award shows work? Labels, publishers all have blocks of votes, he explained. They make deals with each other. You vote for mine, we'll vote for yours type of thing, he continued. It has zero to do with who made the best music, thus Beyonce with Country Album of the Year. Nice, right? The same thing is true with the CMAs, ACMs, Billboard, etc. All work exactly the same. He finished, last night the Grammys outed themselves in a big way. When a fan then responded by saying, I did not realize Beyonce sang country music, Rich bluntly responded, she doesn't. Beyonce took home both Best Country Album and Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter, in addition to Best Country Duo Group Performance with Miley Cyrus for The Most Wanted. Oh, so she won 3. I didn't know about that other one. So she actually won 3. Her victory comes after Recording Academy CEO Harvey Mason Jr. made major changes to diversify the Grammy voters after taking over in 2020. Now, another thing that I was hearing from people who were talking about, those who did watch the awards, they said that this was the best Grammys they had seen in years because they actually got the winners right in just about every category that they were nominated in for the most part, especially when it came to the Black artists. Because, you know, Beyonce won, Kendrick Lamar swept, Chris Brown won Best R&B Album, Doechii won Best Rap Album. She's the third female hip rapper to do it. And it was some other ones as well. So people were saying they actually got it right in a lot of ways, and it's thanks to this Harvey Mason, Harvey Mason Jr. individual for really kind of shaking things up over there. And immediately they go to, oh, it had to be DEI. In addition to adding 3,000 female voting members, Mason Jr. has also increased the racial diversity. The Grammy electorate is now younger, nearly 40% people of color, and 66% of our members are new. It's a system rooted in fairness, integrity, and the principle that every voice in our community matters. He added, there's still work to be done, but I firmly believe we're on the right path. Fans have sounded off about the initiative, with some supporting it, while others have labeled this year's ceremony as the, quote, DEI Grammys. It's not lost on me that after the Grammys reorganized their voting body, the ceremony now feels closer to accurately reflecting the culture, wrote one. Honestly, shout out Harvey Mason Jr. for highlighting the importance and growth of the diversity in the Grammy staff and voting members during such a disgusting time of hate and bigotry, wrote another. Now you've become the DEI Grammys, complained a third. Some music fans are even convinced this year's Grammy Awards were rigged after Beyonce won the accolade for Best Country Album. Many people tuning in on February 2nd claimed the outcome was fixed and referenced Beyonce's husband, Jay-Z, who lambasted the Recording Academy industry at the 2024 ceremony after his wife failed to win an award. And in case y'all didn't know, this is Harvey Mason Jr. right here. Taking to Twitter, one person posted a photo of Beyonce's winning face and captioned it, Beyonce won the Grammy for Best Country Album, even she knows it's rigged. A second posted, let's be honest, nobody listened to that album. The Grammys have always been rigged, and Jay-Z bought that prize for her. A third person commented, Beyonce shows up right before she wins Best Country Album of the Year, and you expect people to believe the Grammys aren't rigged? Someone else said, remember when Jay-Z threw a fit at last year's Grammys and then somehow Beyonce wins Country Album of the Year? Tell me this isn't as rigged as the NFL. During her acceptance speech, Beyonce told the star-studded crowd, oh my God, wow, I really was not expecting this. I want to thank God, oh my God, that I'm still able to do what I love after so many years. I would like to thank all of the incredible artists that accepted this album. We worked so hard on it, she continued. I think sometimes genre is a code word to keep us in our place as artists, and I just want to encourage people to do what they're passionate about and to stay persistent. She concluded her epic speech by thanking her family, including daughter Blue Ivy, and everyone who helped her work on the critically acclaimed project. And I believe that's the entire article right there. So yes, they could not wait to say or claim that this was the DEI Grammys because, not enough, well, mainly because of her. They didn't say it about anybody else, but when it came to her, they feel like in country that they feel like that's theirs. They feel like that's theirs. And we're going to get into that because this post that I made on Twitter, I'll put it like this. It pretty much went viral. But let's do some little history lessons out there for those who feel like country music was started by PC. A simple Google search, y'all. And by the way, this is not my screenshot, but they typed in the proper words. Who started country music, black or white? And the AI overview came back and it said, Black people created country music, which is rooted in African musical traditions. The genre was shaped by enslaved people's work, songs, religious tunes, and traditional West African instruments. They even talk about the banjo, a central instrument in country music, is descended from West African lutes. Enslaved people brought the banjo to America, where it became a key part of slave music and culture. A simple Google search. A simple Google search, y'all, is all it'll take. Now, before I go into the next part, hold on, let me make sure I have this in some kind of order. Okay. Of course, who else had anything to say except Megyn Kelly? Now, the last time I talked about Beyonce and the backlash she received, hold on, y'all. Let me take this off the screen right quick and then bring it back up. The last time they talked about her was when she did that performance at the halftime show for that Christmas game. And they had something to say then. Mind you, that was about a little over a month ago. So you knew they was going to feel some type of way with her winning. So let's see what old long face got to say about this. I bet you she's fuming right through her bad makeup job.
Beyonce, she's won 33 Grammys, including for Best Country Album last night. Frank Sinatra got 11 Grammys. The Beatles won 7. Judy Garland, 2. Beyonce, 33. Most overrated artist of all time. Listen to what John Rich tweeted. Folks are asking me, how do music award shows work? He writes, labels and publishers all have blocks of votes. They make deals with each other. You vote for mine, we'll vote for yours type thing. It has zero to do with who made the best music, thus Beyonce with Country Album of the Year. Nice, right? The same thing is true with the CMAs, the ACMs, Billboard, etc. All work exactly the same. Last night, the Grammys outed themselves in a big way. We're not buying it. We know what happened and how she got this award and how she got her 33 Grammys when you've got 2 for the Judy Garlands of the world.
When I tell you, Megyn Kelly is a big jar of Miracle Whip. And notice that when she was talking about the people who got Grammys who didn't get as many, they were all white artists, whether a group or a solo. How dare this black woman win all these Grammys, and then to top it off, how dare she wins for country? You want to know what's so crazy? Beyonce was going to be able to win no matter what when it comes to people like her, because with her winning, we see the vitriol that they're coming at her with. Had she lost, they would have said, see, Beyonce, that's why you need to stay in your lane. That's why you don't need to be doing no country music. What was that? That wasn't country music, which is exactly why she got on that stage and said about genre, telling people to stay in their place, because she got ahead of them. That's exactly what they're telling her. And to all the black artists out there, If you was to win in these categories that's been prominently white for for all these years, they're going to do the same thing to you. But because it's her, they can garner views off of this. Of course, that all that hating is aging her, Donna. That's why she got to throw on all that makeup and these filters to hide them crow's feet and them wrinkles. Yeah, but I'm not surprised that Megyn Kelly said this. Who's remotely surprised that Megyn Kelly said this? And I'm sure that there are other people online that, well, I don't know, because everyone I've seen on Twitter, not on Twitter, but on YouTube for the most part, who've been talking about this, they've been talking about Kendrick and her. And if they're not talking about her, they're talking about him. And it's mainly black people, and they're all giving them praise. But we know what sector over there, that we're dealing with and how they feel. Because this is how they've always felt about her. When she said 33 Grammys, the most overrated artist of all time. You want to know what's so crazy? Michael Jackson is one of the, well, not one of, but the biggest entertainer ever that has ever lived. Like, he's in a lane of all of himself. I think Michael Jackson has only won in his entire life like 13 Grammys. Mariah Carey, I think, has only won 5 Grammys. And a lot of other artists who are black have won Grammys. Some have never won a Grammy, but that doesn't belittle their talent. Notice she didn't mention them. You want to know what's so crazy? I bet they said the same thing about Michael Jackson. I bet a lot of people like a Megyn Kelly back in the day was probably saying he was overrated, but see, we didn't have social media back then, so we would never know. I bet Megyn Kelly didn't even listen to this album. A lot of the ones that have all this vitriol did not listen to the album except for the one song that they released the 2 songs they released as singles. But because it's her and because it's country, they decided we're going to tear into her. Red Bliss, good point. He said MJ would have won more, but the Grammy shut him out during his bad era. And that's why he got up on that stage and performed, and they cut his mic. And he was singing loud. The whole room heard him. Yep, Ellen said Diana Ross has never won a Grammy. That's news to me because I didn't know. Yeah, but Megyn Kelly's going to Megyn Kelly. No surprise there. Now, the main thing I wanted to show y'all was this post right here. And this is on my page. This post right here went super viral, and I posted it yesterday. I did not expect it to, like I tell you, whenever I post things on, whether it's on here or on Twitter, I don't post it with the intent of it going viral, but if it catches on and it takes off, I have no control of that. That's just the algorithm doing its thing. So there was this post from the New York Post. They were, as you can see, this picture right here, this picture of Beyonce being surprised that her win has pretty much gone viral, and it's already been turned into a meme. It says Grammys 2025 live updates. Beyonce looks genuinely shocked to win Best Country Album Grammy. Then this person named Cam Henry reposted it, and he said Beyonce has spent the last decade complaining about cultural appropriation only to cash in on culturally appropriating white culture. Now, I was just scrolling through the post because I already knew what I was about to run into when I was looking through the post. But this one right here by this Cam Henry individual stuck out to me like a sore thumb. And then I screenshotted it and I said, appropriating whose culture? Just 3 words. That 3-word response with this screenshot garnered 333 replies, 583 reposts, over 6,800 likes, 260 bookmarks, and 172,300 plus views in a little over 24 hours. I wouldn't be surprised if this post went so viral that it probably ended up on one of them gossip pages on Instagram. I just don't know about it. Because one of my posts that I made years ago actually did do that. I forgot what it was about, but that's not the point. I said appropriating whose culture? This person is under the impression that Beyonce, a black woman, is appropriating white culture with winning or with doing country music and winning in the country category and album of the year for a country album. See, this is why we got to remind people of what's what. But I got a lot of, I'm going to go through some of these replies. But it's one in particular that I wanted, because I think he did reply under one of them, but he ended up contradicting himself too, as they typically do. Shout out to Nicole's View. She just put a bunch of crying, laughing emojis. JDW, he said white people ish, they make up ish as they go. CBA says, why palm color act like they are void of real history? They know. Someone else says, these lying ass Mayo mutants. Country was a music center created by FBA Friedman. Someone else says they love lying. Someone said white people have culture, it's just not country music. They steal everyone else's ideas and claim it's quote unquote their culture. LOL. Someone else says, what is white culture? Let's talk this out. I promise you, any answer you give, I can show you how it was created, founded, and cultivated by POC. Someone said they lack innovation when it comes to music. They have to steal from our culture to thrive. Another person said, what culture? Even 19 Keys found this post. Mind you, we don't even follow each other, found this post and responded to it. And he said, no one's. Someone else said, poor things really think they created a genre. Someone else says, man, LOL, we gonna have an honest conversation or not. Someone else says, what? She grew up in Texas. At some point in a Texan's life, you will have to have listened to country and Spanish music. I wouldn't be surprised if Beyonce isn't going to try Tejana music to conquer that market. Oh, God. If she started doing a whole Spanish album, that would be interesting. That would actually be very interesting. But from my knowledge, I think her next album, from what I've heard, allegedly is supposed to be rock inspired. Because I think they said that this is like a trilogy album. The first one was house music. This one is country. And I think the last one is going to be rock type of music. And oh, by the way, she already announced her tour. You know, she announced it on the night of the Grammys after she won. So she will be going on tour. And I think the tour is supposed to occur later on this year. Oh, Denise, I know Tejana music. Yeah, that was the genre that Selena was in, and it's so unfortunate that what that Yolanda chick did, because that woman broke through the barrier of that in that genre. She was very beloved. I can only imagine where she would have been right now had she still been alive. Someone else says they are such liars and so mediocre. They said if it wasn't for black people, there would be no country music. Someone said country music originated from black culture, just like rock and roll, jazz and blues, rap, trap, hip hop and R&B, ragtime, calypso, Zydeco, reggae, samba, choral, Afro beats, dance hall, gospel, etc. Someone else says that they think our knowledge of the creation of music is forgotten, but we know it came from us. They said they want credit for everything. Did they create the moon and the stars too? Let them tell it they did. After all, they were the ones that tried to laugh a few years ago and tried to say aliens were the ones that dropped the pyramids in Egypt because they didn't want to give the black people, the ancient Egyptians, credit for building those monumental, one of the 7 wonders of the world. Someone else says, no one said nothing about Eminem. How y'all tell the world he's the face of hip hop? Very good point. This is, and if you question him, he's just going to mention basketball. Someone says, I'm white and from the South, but isn't country music originally from black culture? Someone said Leslie Riddle, Rufus Payne. Black people created country music, rock as well. Someone else says they are obsessed. Shout out to Jonathan. He said, I was doing my best to get your attention about this one. And then I read the comments and I was like, man, let me tag Torian in this. Someone else says, we just supposed to rap and dance. According to them, yes. That's why Beyonce said what she said. When it comes to the topic of genre, it's code for keeping us in our place. That's why I'm so glad she said that, because she actually spoke a lot of facts when in that one statement. When it comes to it, like rap, R&B, those are the boxes that they want to keep artists in. It's like they can't expand out of that. You can probably taper off, maybe, of course, into pop and everything like that, because that's a mixed bag of people, even though that's a heavily white dominated space as well. But they'll give you a pass on pop. But when it comes to like country or rock, that's when they lose their marbles. Someone said Beyonce literally never complains about cultural appropriation either. She barely even speaks publicly. Now look at this comment right here. Country music is not cultural appropriations. It's an American genre. So I already can tell what this person is saying just by them saying it's an American genre. Then someone said African American, even though we don't say it, we just say Black American or Foundation of Black American, but we get what you're saying. Some say they are one and the same. See, this person is being disingenuous, very disingenuous. Someone said country music is an American music genre, but y'all almost killed Post Malone and Jack Harlow for rapping in hip hop, which is in a quote unquote American genre. See what they're trying to do? They're trying to do the Jedi mind trick thing. They think they slick, but they're not. Someone said you just can't give Black people their credit, because we know what they mean when they say that. These are those people that are trying to live in that colorblind society. Nice try, but it ain't gonna work. It was a post that I wanted to pull up. I might have to click on some of these to see if I can find the response, because that Cam guy who I posted, and that's another thing right here. I saw posts like this. A lot of people was trying to conflate or try to flip it to, oh, Beyonce's appropriating white culture because she has this blonde wig on. Listen, don't insult my intelligence. Y'all weren't talking about her hair. Y'all were talking about the country, the genre of country music. But see, when you get tripped up the way that you do, you got to flip it and try to say, go to another direction to see if you could save yourself. But I don't know if I can find a response, and I really want to find it because but it's just so many responses to go through, and I don't feel like going through every last one of them. But people was like flourishing in the comments. But keep this in mind, this Cam Henry guy and what he said, because I got a screenshot of something else he said. He said we was Kangs and invented era things. So we already know what type of time he's on. Whenever you see a PC person start off a comment with we was Kangs, they are anti-Black. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I doubt that's him in that picture. He says Blacks don't have naturally occurring blonde hair. Everything B is wearing is made by white Europeans. Country music was created by Jimmy Rogers and the Carter family, who drew inspiration from immigrants from the British Isles. What did we read in a couple posts back? This is why I say a simple Google search. A simple Google search. But see, these individuals, they are in their own little world, their own bubble, so they're not going to do it. So they spout off this nonsense and these lies and think that it's just supposed to be true. This Cam Henry guy, they stopped going back and forth with people because it became overwhelming. That's why I wanted to pull up the post, because they was going in on him, because he actually found the post and he started to comment. Because mind you, I didn't even repost it. We're to the point where he would have got the notification, but he found it and decided he was going to leave a comment. And then they found him, and then they started going in on him. But there was so many responses, y'all. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I found it, y'all. We in luck. I found it. Found it. All right, because it was in a quoted post. So this post right here that you see on your screen, that was the screenshot you just saw. So I found it. So let's see what the responses were underneath that post. Oh, Tariq actually responded. I didn't even know Tariq responded. All right, so Tariq said the Carter family learned from Black Americans, and then not only did Jimmy Rogers learn country music from Black railroad workers, Rogers started his music career performing in blackface, trying to emulate the people he learned country music from. So let's see what the response was under that. He says, your argument is because Jimmy Rogers and the Carter family, who are the white Europeans that created country music, and he's still hanging on to that lie that they created it, has some inspiration from blacks, even though you failed to mention the white European inspiration behind their music, that modern country music is black culture. And he said he's talking about you, Cam Henry, and they put up that famous Lyndon B. Johnson quote about white people. Let's see what else did they say. Oh, they also got some screenshots, some other screenshots from Cam Henry. Like I said, this guy's just staunchly anti-black. Someone said, can someone teach this guy about the blacks with natural blonde hair? Dude, where have you been? Under a rock somewhere? Do some research before making these asinine statements. And I think that's it under that particular post, but I think there's some more. Someone else says, where do you think the banjo comes from? We already talked about that. Someone said, this is hilarious. Someone said country music was created by Black Americans. This screenshot that you see right here, that's the one that y'all saw earlier that I got from this part right here. And this is anytime someone refers to us as blacks, I know exactly what kind of brain they are working with. See, this is what we're talking about when we're talking about half truths, because he brought up someone named Jimmy Rogers in the Carter family, and he kept saying they invented it, or they came up with it, and it came from the British Isles. But when you look deeper into it, to what he said, he opened up the door of his lies for us to find the truth behind it, and there it is right there. But they're still hanging on to the lie because they won't admit that they were lying. And it goes on and on and on. He got cooked under his own post. Simple as that. And and even as I was talking, I was still getting responses and likes underneath that post. Because it was at 172,000 and now it's at 182 plus thousand. So 10,000 more views in a matter of probably maybe about an hour. But I know y'all got something to say about this, so I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. I will probably only keep the lines open until 1 o'clock because, like I said, I'm pressed for time, so I won't be able to go past 1 o'clock. But we still got the 2-minute timer, so y'all gonna have to make y'all responses short, whether y'all like it or not. Let me get my timer ready. Hold on, y'all. All right, Wallow J, what's going on? Well, I think it might be something wrong with your. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. What's up, Torin? What's up, Chad? I knew when I saw this, I knew Black Media had to cover this. I knew y'all had to cover this. God knows I was just laughing my ass off. I seen folks on my Facebook, on my personal Facebook. Oh, them white folks, they were mad. One white woman said, I saw that, I immediately turned the TV off. I just laughed. It's like, bro, y'all mad over award shows when we already told y'all these award shows are rigged? Like, come on, people. Y'all really think they give out the best awards to these folks? And like someone said, I saw on Twitter, X said, we had to go through Macklemore winning an album for hip hop. So now y'all got to go through what we went through with country music. And I'll land my plane there.
All right, appreciate you, Wallow, for coming up. Next up, we got Denzimus. What's going on?
Hey, what's up? I wasn't expecting to get on that quick. Look, this is just another example of PC fragility. Um, all they do is just steal other people's culture. Anybody could, come on, it's like anybody could go online and see who actually created country music. They just mad because they know that Beyonce is going to make it hot, and they had all the time in the world to make it something. So you might as well just let the Beyonce do something with it. Y'all asses ain't making it popping. Hell, they did the same shit with what's that boy's name? Oh, nah, Lil Nas X. So yeah, they'll be fine. This is just white fragility at its finest. That's pretty much it.
All right. Appreciate you for coming up. All right, next up we got Scoop 2003. What's going on? Scoop, your mic is muted.
Okay, man, the more I see this mess, the more I just realize they just hate us. That's all that is hate.
Mhm.
They hate us, they jealous of us, and they'll use anything they can to show it. And it's just another example. But guess what? We ain't too fond of them either. And I'm gone.
Shout out to Scoop for coming up. I posted the link in the chat again just in case some people might have missed it. It shouldn't have gone too far up the chat. But shout out to everybody that is here, so that is in the chat. Make sure y'all hitting the like button. I appreciate it. But yeah, that's really all it boils down to is envy. And because it's her. See, I think that if it was just like a no-name artist or someone who was on the up and coming, they wouldn't be nearly as mad. But because it's her, that's why they're mad. That's why they are upset. But what they're really trying to say is they can't wait for Beyonce to finally be a figment of their imagination or something like out of the industry altogether. That's really what it all boils down to. Because think about what Megyn Kelly said. Beyonce is the most overrated artist of all time. And she attributed to it because she has 33 Grammys. But when she got that country album one, that's what really fuels her anger. Or should I say her fake outrage? Because that's all it is. It's all fake. That's what I keep saying. I'm sure they were saying the same thing about Michael Jackson back in the days. We just didn't have social media to see what people had to say, but we saw the headlines. That is true, Darlene. What have I always said? I said black people, especially black Americans, are the trendsetters of the world. There is not a place on this globe where our influence has not touched. You see it generally everywhere. I'll never forget, excuse me, back in like 2007. And they had did this documentary. Well, I don't know if it was a documentary, but it might have been like a special. And they went over to, I think, Japan. And they were talking to some Japanese girls over there. Them Japanese girls were so influenced by hip hop. Like they got the braids. They was getting the earrings like the black women be wearing. They had the clothes like the black women were wearing at the time. The shoes, the heels. Some of them, they even got makeup, like darker makeup, like for women who are more on the brown side, to make their skin appear darker because they didn't want to get the tan. And the whole nine. And this was back in 2007. It is 2025. Not much has changed. Look at those K-pop groups. Look at their singing style, their dancing style. That is nothing more than stuff that black people did decades ago. Like when I be listening to, like, I don't listen to them, but when I come across and I hear them sing, I said, that literally is nothing but R&B, soul, and funk music. That K-pop music. I even saw one, and some of y'all might have seen it too, where it was this K-pop group. It was a female K-pop group. And the way they were dancing and dressed, you would swear that they brought back and cloned Aaliyah and turned her into an Asian woman. Because that dancing style, the way the girl was dressed, That was straight up and down Aaliyah's whole flow. And you cannot tell me otherwise. What's going on, Chris? Oh, Stitching Goods, HBCU bands. I'm glad you mentioned that, because there was a video, and the fact that you brought that up means you probably saw it. There was this video that I saw on Twitter. I think it might have been last year, where it was this Asian marching band, like a school marching band, this Asian marching band, and it was in a parade. The way that they were marching in that band was very similar, but offbeat. But you can tell they pulled from the HBCU marching bands, because the HBCU marching bands has a certain cadence to them. And if you've never been to an HBCU or you never seen any videos of it, then you wouldn't know, but they have a certain distinct cadence to them, from the marching style, the playing style, the whole nine, the dancing and everything. They were trying to mimic that. And I'll add on another one. There was this, it was an Asian fraternity, or mainly an Asian fraternity. They were stepping like the black fraternities, or trying to. And you know what? I don't know if it was an Asian fraternity, but I guess the fraternity had a lot of Asian people on the line. But it was one black guy there. The black guy was the only one that had the most rhythm out of all of them. I mean, he was hitting every step. That lets me know he was the one that taught them that. Because they, for some reason, they could not hit them steps flawlessly. But that black guy was hitting every step in sync and perfectly. I even saw one where they had, it was some Latinas who had a sorority, and they were up there trying to step like they were some Deltas. I said, I've seen Delta step, and they don't step like that. I see what you're trying to do, but it ain't working. Because, and like Donna said, rhythm is in our souls. Like, we can hear a beat, we can hear a song, and we catch on to that beat immediately. Everyone else is like, they have to do an 8 count before they can catch on to the beat. We already caught it as soon as the beat dropped. Speaking of rhythm and beats, look at, not to bring him up again, Michael Jackson. This man was a very good beatboxer. Don't believe me? Go on YouTube and type it in Michael Jackson beatbox. Michael Jackson did a lot of beatboxing for his Dangerous album. And you can hear it in the production. Christopher Lee, yes, I did hear about that, and that was so hilarious. I said, what a joke. I said, who cares about your day off? Y'all the only ones that care about that. Everyone else is having a day on. I know I am. I think I saw it on Seiji Hito's video that he did yesterday. I think he uploaded it yesterday or maybe earlier this morning. And I saw that crap. I said, if y'all don't sit down somewhere with that, no one cares about your day off. All right, we got another person that just came up here. Don, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on? Let me make sure my mic is on.
It's good. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, let me get under that 2 minutes. Listen, there is a reason why we excel at everything, you know, and some things, if you really want to know the truth about it, all you have to do is kind of look at the etymology of words and so forth. Like, didn't it say the Cowboys created country music?
Well, I know. Well, they said like one of the first Cowboys. No, the first Cowboys. Some of them were black.
Well, yeah, that's there you go. Etymology of the word, because any word that has boy at the end of it is a pejorative word meant for us, because you don't have police boys, you have police men. So, you know, those kind of things just tell the whole script, and you got to look at it. But let me make this point real quick before the buzzer catches me. There's a reason why we excel at everything. One of the things is that we have 9 strands of DNA. They only have 6. That's another story. When they came to the west coast of Africa, they did not take everybody, and they did not grab the first people they could see that they saw. They grabbed a very specific people that were builders and everything else. And it's like, somebody mentioned in the comment, well, the Egyptians built the pyramids. No, the children of Israel built them damn pyramids. Anyway, we are the originators. That's why they came and got us specifically, because they didn't take everybody. They got a specific group of people, ones that could build this nation. And I'll land my plane there.
Appreciate you coming up. Yeah, because Cowmen doesn't have a ring to it. Cowmen, that just, I'm gonna be honest with you. Cowmen would come up with, but cowboy, that just has a little bit of extra oomph to it. Like, like that, it had to be some black people that came up with that. Cowboy just sounds so fire. Cowmen. And it just looks so dope. I don't know when that's why a lot of, I'll put it like this, because I don't know if I mentioned it when I did the live about Beyonce's halftime performance earlier in January, but it was a part where she was when she was singing Jolene, and it was some women in a car coming out, and they were waving their hands. A lot of people didn't know who those women were. I had to look it up. Those black women were some I think they were some rodeo girls. Like they did rodeo. So she was highlighting some black rodeo girl. Now, when you think about the rodeo, you mainly think about white men doing that. But you don't know that there's black people that do that too. Mark said, I remember when Blue Ivy won a Grammy. Of course they were, because she's an extension of her mother. Anyone attached to her, they don't like. Her husband, her daughter. And I'm sure once her other two kids get a little bit older, and if they decide to want to do something in the industry, they're going to hate them too. Shout out to Tammy Lucas for subscribing to the channel. But it doesn't look like there's going to be anybody else that's going to be coming up today. But I appreciate everyone coming through to listen to this topic. And we had a little discussion, and we had some people come up and speak as well. I'm glad that you did, on this. Oh, hold on. Y'all do this all the time when I'm getting ready to close it out. Y'all want to come in at the last moment. Hold on, y'all. We got one more person that just came up. All right, let's see. We got 50 is fabulous. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
These people are exhausting. They're such haters. It's like there's nothing on the planet that we didn't do first. There's nowhere on the planet that we weren't there first, because we are the original people of the planet, even with them claiming blonde hair. Don't you understand that black women hold the Eve gene? And we're capable of making every variation of human beings on the planet. So with the blonde hair, blue eyes, green eyes, it doesn't matter.
Oh, I think your mic went out. I don't know what happened, and she was cooking too.
I said,
Okay, you back.
I said black women are the mothers of civilization, and we possess the Eve gene. And we can make every variation of human being, including their blonde hair and blue eyes. It's like, I don't know why they keep being stuck on stupid. There's no way on the planet that we weren't there first. There's no creation under the sun that we didn't create. They are the originators of nothing except chaos and murder. So please, spare me. But thank you.
All right, thanks for coming up.
Bye.
All right, that was officially the last one, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and end the stream right there. Shout out to everyone who came up and spoke. We will be back on here tomorrow. I got, the 10 a.m. video lined up, and there will be a live, and that live will be at the regular time at 6 p.m. tomorrow. So make sure that y'all are locked in for that. And with that being said, everybody, make sure y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe, be warm, and most importantly, be one. And again, rest in power to Dr. Neely Fuller Jr.